947 Drive with Tundo.
Weekdays, 3 to 6 p.m.
So what began with a delayed appearance after falling ill has become one of Madlanga Commission's most dramatic moments. If you remember last week, Advocate Andrea Johnson, until yesterday, the head of the investigating Directorate against corruption, faced hours of relentless questioning. Commissioners were scrutinizing her decisions. They challenged parts of her evidence. And then came another dramatic twist yesterday. Last night, she resigned with immediate effect. And earlier today, President Cyril Ramaphosa accepting her resignation. And today, of course, she's returned to the witness stand to continue testifying under oath. Joining us now on the line is EWN reporter Thabiso Goba. Thabiso, what was sort of the feeling? I don't imagine she came back from, the way she initially left before resigning.
Good afternoon, Tando. Yes, she does seem, a bit down, but she has been like that. She started testifying. I don't know whether that's due to her medical health, or that's due to just the hard questions that she's been asked. As you said, the heart of the matter here, Tando, is that last year around June, IDEC arrested the head of SAS Crime Intelligence, Mr. Dumsani Kumalo, along with several others of his colleagues in the crime intelligence sector. And they were basically arrested for fraud and corruption because the allegation was that they hired a very inexperienced person to a senior position within crime intelligence, and that they gave that person the title or the rank of brigadier, despite this person being an inexperienced civilian. But what we later found out is that this position, it was the head of technical support services unit. It's a highly complex and highly technical position within crime intelligence. We actually don't even know what they do because that's how technical it is. And obviously because it's crime intelligence, they don't necessarily share a lot of details about the kind of work they do. But this position was advertised around 3 times. And there was no one who could actually fill this position until a 30-year-old woman, her name was Dineo Mukwele. She is a mechatronics engineer from BMW. She met the entire criteria for this job, and she was given the job. And what Andrea Johnson has been asked at the Madlanga Commission is that you charged these guys with fraud and corruption because you said they hired an unqualified person. But when we look at her CV, it turns out, when we look at the job advertisement that she applied for, it turns out that she actually was qualified to do the job, and that your entire case that you charged and arrested the senior crime intelligence officers actually doesn't hold up to account. So now the next question obviously here, Tando, is that what exactly were the ulterior motives by IDEC and by Andrea Johnson in terms of going after some of these senior crime intelligence officers? Now that question, unfortunately, we haven't had an answer to, but we do know that from the KZN Police Commissioner, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, he did suggest that, there were some political and maybe even criminal elements around IDEC's pursuit of some of these crime intelligence officers.
So what should South Africans be watching out for next, Thabiso?
I think what they should be, the obvious thing here what we were watching out for is that how long can she last in her job? And now obviously she has resigned. But I think one of the most important things that we have to watch out for is whether there are going to be any consequences that arise from these. And by these consequences, I mean, are there going to be people arrested? There was a startling accusation that was made today at the Madlanga Commission that apparently one of the senior IDEC investigators, they fabricated witness statements, which is some witness statement that were submitted both to the Madlanga Commission and in a court matter. So those are criminal offences at any sort of level. And so I think what we should be watching out for is whether there's going to be any arrests affected against any of these senior IDEC leaders.
Yeah, Andrea Johnson looking still pretty stressed there at Madlanga Commission. Thabiso, thank you so much for speaking to us. That's EWN reporter Thabiso Goba.
947 Drive with Tundo.
Weekdays, 3 to 6 p.m.